next Trinity Minute starts, wait for it, now. And tonight we're going to be talking about community. Community is what we're all about here at the Adawehi Healing Center. The Adawehi credo, if you will, is that we are all made up of heart energies, things like courage and power and commitment and delight and understanding. These are all very important gifts that we bring, and each person has a different collection of those gifts. So if somebody is thinking about trying out a gift that they don't have yet, it would be really nice if the mass consciousness contained a very bright and easy to see version of that. So that's what we do with these meditations. Every week we try and empower them into the consciousness for people who are looking to expand their collection of gifts. If you think that's cool, then you should be a part of this. If you haven't already, take a moment, like this video, subscribe to this channel, maybe leave us a comment or share with somebody that you think could benefit from these videos. All of these things make us more visible, and that's what it's all about. Having these energies be more visible in the consciousness. As I said tonight, we're talking about community. And community, although it seems very complicated, is actually basically very simple. It is about a collection of people pooling their gifts. That is to say, you bring what you have and I bring what I have, and together we have something more than either of us could be by ourselves. That's all community is. The benefit of having multiple people with multiple gifts. Very simple and yet very powerful. I usually try and give you a self-defense exercise that I think will get you to feel the sensation of that energy. And usually it's some sort of physical technique that you can do. But self-defense is really about much more than just, oh, you're in trouble. Should you put a finger lock on that guy? Should you kick him to the knee and run away? If you get to that point, yes, it's nice to have those techniques, but there's a whole lot of stuff that happens before it becomes a physical confrontation. And all of that falls under the umbrella of self-defense as well. So tonight we're going to talk about a very simple self-defense concept that I think will help you feel community and also may be very useful to you in your daily life. One of the big things that having multiple people in your community can help you with is that each person has a sense of danger. If you are in a situation and it starts to feel off to you, you should listen to that. That's your aura, your energy field, reaching out and touching the other people in the situation and giving you feedback saying, this is not a place of safety. You're not going to be honored here. This is not going to flow smoothly. You get those sort of feedbacks. Unfortunately, we all just kind of turn them off. We go, oh, that's silly. Of course it's going to be safe. You know, logically, I know that this is the right place for me to be, so I'm going to ignore that feeling in my gut that says something hinky is up. That's a big part of self-defense, is getting back that sense of something's off. I should listen to that. And if you have multiple people, you have multiple chances for that message to get through. You would have to have every single person turn off their danger sense for you to actually have troubles when you have a bunch of people that are all kind of sensing the environment. That's one of the beauties of seeing yourself as part of community, is you have access to everybody's input. You can double, triple, quadruple your sense of safety or understanding or flow. It gives you a lot more to work with, which is the whole point of community. Other people's gifts give you a lot more to work with. To incorporate this, all you need is some very simple concepts. For one, if you're going out with a group of people, like I used to be in rock bands all the time, and when we would play in a sketchy area of town, we would always have a meetup point. If something bad happens, if a fight breaks out, if there's a fire, if one of us has to run away, we all meet back up here at the car. Give yourself a meetup point. Whenever you're with a group of people, say, this is our regroup point. Now that can be a physical location, like that lamppost on the corner, we'll all meet there. Or this fountain by the entrance to Disney World, we'll all meet there. But it can also be a metaphorical meetup. Like if we get too angry at each other, we get too separated, we get into our judgment, our meetup point will be we're all going to breathe together. That might be a meetup point. But arranging those meetup points beforehand is a very powerful way to experience community. Another powerful way to experience community is to have a danger word that everybody agrees on. Because if you're walking together in a crowd and one person goes, oh my God, it looks like there's a whole bunch of people headed toward that exit, it's going to get jammed up, they can say, let's steer this way. And it's much better than if you yourself were trying to keep track of everything going on. You have this group of people, you might as well listen to what they're picking up in the environment. But very often there's not time to have a conversation. So it's good to have a danger word. This could be anything. When we first started out as a band, our danger word was, what do we call it? Yield. You know, like the triangular yield sign. And it simply meant that I'm picking up something bad here, let's go the other way. And when a person said yield, we all listened. We were all like, oh, okay, we're going to go in here, yield. Oh, okay, we're not going to go in here. It was a quick and easy way for a person to get the attention of the whole group and say, I'm picking up something not right here. But since bands are made up of right-brained creative individuals, that morphed over time. It stopped being yield, soon it was detour. Eventually we settled on the word captain, as in captain on the bridge. If you said captain, that meant that everybody had to listen to you in that moment. That your decision, even if it was sudden and a snap decision, was something that they couldn't argue with. Now later they may say, I think you went overboard there, and we'd set some more ground rules. But in the moment, just saying captain meant that if you saw a snake, or if you saw somebody with a gun stuffed down the back of their pants, or if somebody over there was pulling out a bottle and looked like they would hit somebody, you'd say, captain, and we'd all go wherever you went. Because you had had the danger sense to say, something's going on here, we need to avoid it. A wonderful way to experience community, the safety of community, the awareness of community, simply by agreeing upon a word that you can all focus on. Now, it may not be a physical situation. You may not be in a band and you may not go to clubs in bad areas of town, but perhaps you have a work community and you need to be able to say something about this interaction feels off. And it needs to be in a way that doesn't instantly tell everybody else that all of you have suddenly switched direction. So a very simple thing would be to pick a word that doesn't mean anything, like so, or anyway, that you can just say and people would be like, oh, okay, whatever. It doesn't matter if it doesn't seem to lead anywhere or if it doesn't mean anything. You could just interject words like that into the conversation all the time, like uh-huh, or so anyway. Something like that would let everybody who was in the know, everybody in your group who had agreed on this, know that you were picking up something here that wasn't quite right. A wonderful way to have sort of a little code in your office. All of these things are just suggestions, but the basic concept is use the gifts of your group. And when you do, you will be experiencing community. If you think this stuff's cool, stay tuned for more Trinity.